If you've ever found yourself scratching your head, wondering what makes the men in your life tick, or utterly perplexed by why they just don't, then you've landed in the right place. Forget those fluffy relationship guides. We're diving deep into the real, often unspoken, weaknesses that women inadvertently display, or behaviors men find truly perplexing. Get ready to decode the opposite sex, armed with insights that might just revolutionize your relationships. Top 15 female weaknesses every man must know and understand. Relationships are a fascinating, often bewildering dance between two different worlds. Men and women, while sharing fundamental desires for love and connection, often operate on vastly different psychological and social landscapes. Understanding these distinctions isn't about pointing fingers or assigning blame. It's about building bridges of empathy and practical strategies for a more harmonious partnership. This deep dive will uncover some common pitfalls women unknowingly fall into, shedding light on why men react the way they do, and how a fresh perspective can transform your interactions. Let's unravel these mysteries, not to criticize, but to cultivate a deeper, more fulfilling connection. 1. Treating men like children and acting as their nanny. It might seem endearing, helpful even, to remind your man about his wallet, pick up his socks, or plan his entire week. You might be thinking, he'd be lost without me. And while that might occasionally feel true, it's actually one of the quickest ways to erode a man's sense of competence and, ultimately, his attraction to you. Why men dislike it. When you treat a man like a child, he starts to act like one. Men are intrinsically driven by a need for competence and control. They want to be seen as capable. When you constantly program his life for him, finding his keys, making his appointments, or reminding him to grab his dry cleaning, you strip away his opportunity to feel in control and effective. This behavior inadvertently tells him that you see him as incompetent, and guess what? He'll eventually start to believe it. This can lead to decreased self-esteem and a feeling of being useless. And a man who feels useless is rarely a passionate lover. Why women make this mistake? Many women are raised with the ingrained mothering instinct. We see our mothers nurturing, sacrificing, and caring for everyone, including our fathers, often in a way that blurs the lines between wife and caretaker. This early programming teaches us that caring for a man means treating him like a dependent. We want to feel important and indispensable, and by taking on all responsibilities, we ensure he needs us. Plus, let's be honest, men often like being taken care of. It's comfortable for them. But this comfort slowly suffocates the romantic dynamic, the impact. This nanny-like dynamic turns the relationship into a parent-child bond, killing sexual desire and fostering resentment. He might secretly chafe under your constant reminders, even if he enjoys the convenience. You, on the other hand, might find yourself feeling more like his mom than his lover, which is hardly a turn-on, a solution. Stop doing things he can do himself. Let him find his own keys, choose his own clothes, and remember his own appointments. He might stumble at first, but he'll learn to be more responsible. Treat him as an adult you trust to handle his own affairs. Don't nag or scold. Instead, show understanding when he makes a mistake, allowing him to learn from the consequences. This isn't about being uncaring. It's about being a partner, not a parent. 2. Sacrificing themselves and being a rear guard for their man. Imagine cutting the larger, juicier piece of fish for your partner without a second thought. For many women, this act of self-sacrifice is deeply ingrained. It's the belief that your needs, dreams, and desires come second to his. Women often give up hobbies, friendships, or even career aspirations to support their partner's journey, becoming his rear guard. Why men dislike it? Indirectly. While men might initially enjoy being prioritized, they don't ultimately respect a woman who consistently diminishes herself. A man is proudest of a woman who stands strong and independent. When you constantly put yourself second, You lose your sparkle, your individuality, and the very qualities that attracted him in the first place. This self-erasure can lead him to take you for granted or even lose respect for your own aspirations. Why women make this mistake? We are often taught from a young age that self-sacrifice is a noble feminine trait. Our mothers and grandmothers modeled it. We might believe that by putting his needs first, he will love us more, or that our self-worth is tied to how much we give. We might also consciously or unconsciously believe that a woman should be a man's support system, leading us to abandon our own interests and integrate completely into his world. This can extend to letting him dictate your social circle, isolating you from other sources of support. The impact. This leads to deep-seated resentment within the woman. She feels she's given everything but hasn't received proportionate love or recognition. It can also lead to a loss of self-identity, leaving her feeling empty and bitter. The man, in turn, might wonder why she's so unhappy, not realizing her unhappiness stems from her own sacrifice potential. The solution: reclaim your individuality. Make a list of everything you've sacrificed in relationships and another list of your own dreams, passions, and important people. Actively pursue these. Be honest with yourself about your own desires. A fulfilling life outside the relationship makes you a more vibrant and attractive partner. This isn't selfish. It's essential for your well-being and for the health of the relationship. 3. Loving a man's potential. Oh, the siren song of, I can fix him. Or he just needs a little push to reach his full potential. Many women fall head over heels for the man they believe he can become, rather than the man he is right now. They embark on rescue missions, investing time, energy, and even money into transforming him. Why men dislike it? Well, a man appreciates support. He doesn't want to feel like a project. This dynamic suggests that you don't fully accept or love him as he is, sending a subtle message of inadequacy. It puts immense pressure on him to change, and men generally resist being controlled or changed by external forces, especially when it comes to their core self-perception. Why women make this mistake? Women are natural nurturers and problem solvers. We excel at home decor, personal grooming, and general improvement. We tend to apply this fix-it mentality to relationships too. We believe our love is powerful enough to heal past wounds or unlock dormant talents. We might also use these rescue projects as a way to avoid facing our own unresolved issues or to feel useful and needed. The impact. This project-based relationship rarely leads to true intimacy. The woman often ends up exhausted, frustrated, and resentful when the man inevitably falls short of her imagined ideal. The man, meanwhile, feels constantly scrutinized and unaccepted. True love is based on accepting someone for who they are today, not for who you hope they'll be tomorrow. The solution: focus your creative energy on your own life and aspirations. Before entering a relationship, define what you need in a partner, not what you can change. Look for a man who is already responsible for his own growth and actively working on himself, not someone you need to save. Support his self-improvement efforts, but don't take on the entire burden yourself. Actions speak louder than words. Observe his consistent effort, not just his promises. 4. Hiding their capabilities and self-deprecating. Oh, this old thing. I just threw it on. Or my report. It was okay, I guess. Women often downplay their intelligence, achievements, and talents, especially in front of men, believing it makes them more approachable, less intimidating, or more feminine. Why men dislike it? Men are attracted to competence and confidence. When you constantly self-deprecate or refuse compliments, it signals insecurity. This isn't attractive. It makes you seem less capable, less interesting, and potentially dishonest. A man wants a partner he can be proud of, someone who is strong and knows her worth. Why women make this mistake? Societal conditioning often tells women that being too smart or too successful can be a turnoff for men. We're taught to be humble, perhaps even to dim our light so a man can shine brighter. This stems from historical roles where women were expected to be subservient. We might fear being seen as arrogant or unfeminine if we fully own our strengths. The impact: this behavior creates a superficial connection. He won't truly know or appreciate your hidden gems. Over time, you might even start to believe your own self-deprecating remarks, losing touch with your own valuable assets and strengths. The solution: embrace your talents and achievements. Make a list of your strengths and share them. Practice accepting compliments with a simple thank you. Stop minimizing your successes. Seek out men who celebrate your brilliance and want you to shine. Authenticity and confidence are far more attractive than feigned humility. 5. Giving up their strengths and letting themselves be treated poorly. This weakness involves compromising your self-respect, moral standards, and dignity in the hope of gaining a man's love. It's allowing yourself to be treated in ways you wouldn't accept for a loved one, living in fear of criticism, and settling for less than you deserve. Why men dislike it and how it backfires. When you consistently allow a man to treat you poorly, name-calling, emotional neglect, disrespect, you teach him that this behavior is acceptable. It erodes his respect for you because you are not respecting yourself. Men are attracted to strength. When you become a doormat, you lose your power and consequently, his attraction. This creates a self-esteem damage cycle where his poor treatment leads to your lowered self-esteem, which in turn makes you less likely to stand up for yourself. Why women make this mistake? Often, this stems from a deep-seated fear of abandonment or a historical pattern of being treated poorly, making it feel normal. Women might unconsciously believe they must endure bad treatment to keep a man, or that their worth is tied to how much they can tolerate. Societal messages, inherited from previous generations, might reinforce the idea that women should be forgiving or accommodating, even in the face of disrespect. The impact: this is a devastating path to emotional emptiness and resentment. You lose pieces of yourself with each compromise. You become angry at yourself for allowing it, and at him for not loving you enough despite your sacrifices. The solution: break the cycle by upholding your self-worth. Don't tolerate disrespectful behavior. Communicate your boundaries clearly and firmly. Seek support from friends or a therapist to heal fears of abandonment. Remember, you deserve love and respect, and that begins with respecting yourself. This isn't about being confrontational, but about being clear about what you will and will not accept. 6. Being childish and demanding like a toddler. This weakness manifests as feigning naivety, being overly emotional, crying when angry instead of communicating or creating drama to gain a man's attention or reassurance. It includes behaving like a daddy's girl who expects to be taken care of financially and emotionally. Why men dislike it? While some men might initially be drawn to a woman who seems helpless or innocent, this quickly becomes tiresome. A man seeks a partner, not another child to manage. Emotional manipulation, whether through tears or feigned confusion, makes him feel responsible for your emotional state and creates an exhausting dynamic. It also makes him feel controlled and disrespected, especially when he realizes you're playing games. Why women make this mistake? We might have learned early in life that cuteness or vulnerability can get us what we want. If parents or early partners responded to childish behavior with attention or concessions, we might unconsciously replicate this. We might also struggle with expressing powerful emotions like anger directly, so we resort to more feminine expressions like sadness or confusion. The impact: he becomes exasperated and resentful, feeling burdened by your emotional needs. The relationship lacks genuine maturity and equality. He won't feel romantic or passionate towards someone he perceives as a child. The solution: identify and stop these childish behaviors. Practice expressing your emotions maturely and directly. Ask yourself, what am I really angry about? Before resorting to tears, take responsibility for your own feelings and choices. Don't pretend to be helpless or confused. Instead, empower yourself to solve your own problems. This builds respect and attracts a truly adult relationship. Point 7. Acting as if they don't. Like sex, this is the classic headache woman who acts as though sex is a chore, a favor granted to her partner, or something distasteful she might avoid. Physical intimacy, seem uncomfortable with the topic, or go through the motions during lovemaking. Why men dislike it? Sex is a primary way men feel desired and accepted. When a woman acts as if she dislikes sex, it makes the man feel shameful, inadequate, and undesirable. He might interpret her reluctance as a personal rejection, questioning his attractiveness or ability to please her. It also creates a psychological barrier, making it difficult for him to open up and express his vulnerability. A man cannot truly open his heart to a woman who makes him feel guilty for his natural desires. Why women make this mistake? Many women are raised with conflicting messages about sexuality. Be attractive, but don't be loose or eager. This societal conditioning can lead to a suppression of their own sexual desires out of fear of judgment. She might also genuinely dislike sex with him due to unmet emotional needs, a lack of connection, or dissatisfaction with his lovemaking style. But instead of communicating, she withdraws. Past negative experiences can also contribute to this aversion. The impact. This creates a cold, unfulfilling sexual life and damages intimacy. He might seek validation elsewhere, or resentment will build on both sides. The solution. Embrace your own sexuality. Allow yourself to enjoy and express desire. Communicate openly about your needs and preferences, and don't be afraid to initiate. If there are deeper issues, for example, past trauma, physical discomfort, seek professional help to address them. Show him that you desire him, not as a favor, but as an expression of your love and connection. 8. Never initiating sex, similar to the previous point, but more about passivity than outright aversion. A woman who consistently waits for the man to initiate sex places the entire burden of sexual responsibility on him. Why men dislike it? This makes him feel like he's constantly chasing or begging for sex. He becomes responsible for the entire sexual dynamic, leading to pressure and potential frustration. It can make him doubt if you truly desire him or if he's merely fulfilling a duty. He desires to feel wanted, not just tolerated. Why women make this mistake? Again, societal norms can play a role, making women feel that initiating is unfeminine or too aggressive. Some women also use sexual withholding as a subconscious way to exert control or express dissatisfaction in other areas of the relationship. The impact. It drains the spontaneity and joy from the sexual relationship. He might become less likely to initiate over time, leading to a sexless or unsatisfying dynamic for both. The solution. Take the initiative. Show him you want him. This doesn't mean always being the aggressor, but expressing desire through touch, words, or actions. Even small gestures of initiation can significantly boost his confidence and reignite the spark. 9. Unfamiliar with their partner's body, specifically the penis. Some women handle a man's penis as if it's a fragile, dangerous artifact or something utterly alien. They might be timid, tentative, or simply focus solely on penetration without exploring other areas. Why men dislike it? A man's penis is a deeply significant part of his masculine identity. When a woman treats it with awkwardness or disinterest, it can feel like a profound rejection of him. He might interpret it as her finding him unattractive or that she's uninterested in his pleasure. It makes him feel like a mere instrument rather than a desired partner. He wants you to appreciate his body fully, not just its functional aspects. Why women make this mistake? This often stems from a combination of factors. lack of education about male anatomy, societal taboos around male sexuality, or personal discomfort. Some women might also harbor unconscious fears or negative associations with the penis. If a woman is generally uncomfortable with sex or feels unfulfilled, she might default to a perfunctory approach. The impact: it inhibits intimacy and can lead to a less pleasurable experience for both. He feels misunderstood and possibly ashamed. The solution: get to know his body. Ask him what he likes, where he likes to be touched, and how he prefers it. Be curious and explorative. Touch him with confidence, affection, and genuine interest, not just to achieve an erection. This shows him you're fully engaged and appreciate him as a whole. 10. Believing men are solely responsible for their orgasm. This weakness is when a woman places the entire burden of her sexual satisfaction on her partner, expecting him to make her come without clear communication or self-exploration. Why men dislike it: this creates immense performance pressure. He feels like he's constantly being tested and judged on his ability to bring you to climax. When he fails, he feels inadequate, like a failure in bed, which is a huge blow to his ego and self-worth. This pressure can kill his desire and make sex feel like a daunting task rather than a joyful connection. Why women make this mistake: many women are conditioned to be passive recipients of pleasure, or are embarrassed to directly communicate their needs. There's often a lingering societal belief that a good man should instinctively know how to please his woman. Some women might even see their orgasm as a reward he has to earn, or they're too shy to explore their own bodies and learn what works for them. The impact: this dynamic leads to frustration for both. She feels unfulfilled and he feels like a failure. It can lead to resentment and a decline in sexual intimacy. The solution: take responsibility for your own pleasure. Communicate openly and directly about what feels good. Guide him. Explore your own body and understand your arousal. Remember, he's a partner in your pleasure, not solely responsible for it. Engage in verbal lovemaking by expressing your sensations and desires. 11. Being a traffic cop. In bed, too controlling. This woman takes charge in bed to an extreme, directing every movement, every touch, turning intimacy into a meticulously choreographed performance. She say, faster ... slower ... no, not there, a little to the left ... there. Why men dislike it? While some initial guidance is helpful, constant direction makes a man feel incompetent and disrespected. It robs him of spontaneity and the ability to explore and discover. It turns him into an employee following orders rather than a passionate lover. It also stifles his creativity and can make him feel like he's being judged or tested. Why women make this mistake? This can stem from past experiences with unskilled lovers, leading to a fear that he won't know how to please her. It can also be a manifestation of a woman's desire for control in general, carrying over from other areas of her life where she might be a boss or a planner. The impact: it kills passion and makes sex feel like a chore. He becomes disengaged and might lose interest in initiating or participating fully. The solution: provide guidance, but then trust him to explore and learn. Allow for spontaneity. Communicate your preferences at other times, not necessarily in the heat of the moment. Let him discover your body and his own way of pleasing you. This builds trust and makes sex more adventurous and enjoyable. 12. Not taking care of themselves, physically and hygienically. This is the woman who lets herself go. Sloppy clothes, bad hygiene, especially downstairs, neglecting her body with poor diet or lack of exercise. Men might not always vocalize it, but they do notice. Why men dislike it? Men are visual creatures. Neglecting your appearance or hygiene is a turn-off. It signals a lack of self-respect and can make him wonder why you wouldn't make an effort for him or for yourself. It impacts his physical attraction and can even make intimate acts, Like oral sex, unappealing. Why women make this mistake? This can be due to sheer laziness, a misguided belief that true love means he'll love you no matter what, or feeling overwhelmed by other responsibilities, like raising children. It can also be a subconscious way to push a man away. If she's unhappy in the relationship or lacks self-confidence, the impact, it significantly diminishes his physical attraction and can lead to a decline in intimacy. It creates a sense of disappointment and can make him less eager to engage in sexual activity. The solution: invest in your self-care. This isn't about conforming to impossible beauty standards, but about honoring your body. Eat well, exercise, practice good hygiene, and dress in a way that makes you feel confident and attractive. Ask your partner what he finds appealing. This is about showing yourself love, which in turn enhances your attractiveness to him. Point 13. Not loving their own body and being insecure. My thighs are too big. My stomach isn't flat enough. Women who constantly point out their perceived flaws or hide their bodies during intimacy project insecurity. Why men dislike it? Men are attracted to confidence. When you are insecure about your body, it signals that you don't feel desirable. This dampens his desire. Your constant self-criticism can make him feel like he's being put in an awkward position, or that he's being asked to convince you of your beauty rather than simply enjoying it. It also makes sex feel like a dirty or shameful act if you convey that you are embarrassed by your own body. Why women make this mistake? Media often bombards women with images of perfect bodies, leading to unrealistic comparisons and body dissatisfaction. Past negative experiences or critical partners can also instill body shame. We might equate modesty with being good, leading us to hide our bodies and, by extension, our sexual desires. The impact: it creates a barrier to true intimacy and connection. He feels he cannot fully love or appreciate your body if you don't. The solution: learn to appreciate your body. Focus on what you like about it. Practice self-affirmation. Stop pointing out your flaws or seeking reassurance. When he compliments you, accept it gracefully. Embrace your natural beauty and confidence. It's incredibly attractive. 14. Being overly focused on appearance, the opposite extreme. While neglecting appearance is a turn-off, so is being obsessed with it. This woman spends hours on her hair and makeup, wears elaborate outfits even for casual outings, and seems more concerned with looking perfect than being present. Why men dislike it? Men generally prefer a more natural look and a woman who is comfortable in her own skin. Excessive makeup can make them feel like they're kissing a painted mask. Overly elaborate clothing or accessories can make her seem high maintenance or unapproachable. It also suggests an underlying insecurity, where she believes her worth is entirely tied to her external appearance. He wants a real, authentic woman, not a carefully curated display. Why women make this mistake? Society and media often push the idea that women must always be on or perfectly groomed. Women may feel immense pressure to conform to these standards, believing it's the only way to attract or keep a man. It can also stem from deep-seated insecurity, where appearance becomes a shield or a desperate attempt to feel worthy. The impact: it creates a superficial impression and can make her seem vain or self-absorbed. It can also lead to him feeling like he's not good enough if she's constantly striving for an impossible ideal. It can hinder spontaneous intimacy. For example, I haven't showered, done my makeup. The solution: find a healthy balance. While looking good is important, prioritize genuine connection and comfort. Ask your man what he genuinely finds attractive. Embrace your natural beauty. Understand that true confidence comes from within, not from layers of makeup or elaborate outfits. 15. Constantly talking about ex-lovers, whether it's praising an ex, "He was so thoughtful," or constantly complaining about a past partner, "My ex was such a jerk." Bringing up old relationships is almost always a relationship killer. Why men dislike it? This makes the current man feel constantly compared, whether favorably or unfavorably. If you praise an ex, he feels he has to live up to an impossible ideal. If you trash an ex, he might wonder, why were you with such a jerk in the first place? This subtly questions your judgment. Will I be next? He sees your anger and resentment and fears he'll eventually become the next target of your complaints. He gets tired of the drama. He's not your therapist or your trash can for past emotional baggage. Why women make this mistake? Sometimes it's unintentional, a habit. Other times, it's a way to subconsciously warn the current partner about what you don't like, hoping he'll avoid similar behaviors. It can also be a sign that you haven't fully processed or healed from past relationships. The impact: it creates a three-person dynamic, making the current relationship feel less intimate and exclusive. It fosters insecurity, resentment, and a lack of trust in the present partner. The solution: heal your past. If you still harbor anger or resentment towards an ex, seek therapy or find a trusted friend to vent to, not your current partner. Focus on the present relationship and its unique qualities. Communicate your needs and desires directly to your current partner, rather than hinting at them through stories about your ex. Your current man deserves your full presence and focus, free from the shadows of past loves. Conclusion: understanding. These female weaknesses isn't about labeling or shaming. It's about gaining profound insight into the intricate dance between men and women. By recognizing these patterns, often rooted in societal conditioning, past experiences, or fundamental psychological differences, women can cultivate greater self-awareness and healthier behaviors. When you embrace your true strength, communicate openly, and foster genuine self-love, you not only empower yourself but also unlock a deeper, more authentic connection with the men in your life. This journey of understanding benefits everyone, paving the way for relationships built on mutual respect, passion, and genuine harmony. It's time to rewrite the rules for a love story that truly thrives.